Okay, so yeah, that's it for the wreck ship. There's really nothing else here, and I do like the idea of having the player required to get an item before actually being able to pass something. It's sort of like another way you could throw in. That's like an alternate statue room. Because the statue room, you have to defeat those bosses to go to terrain, final area, whatever it is. So it's kind of like an alternate way of doing that, and that's really nice. And I actually have done that for free. Refilled everything here. It's a wonderful energy flying up, and missiles are full. So now we can ride this elevator. And this, I don't know why he made the elevator have rocks. So yes, but if you notice, even the worms having these little rocks fly out. Now he's done. Yeah, you could tell the elevators there because of. Diazo has done some very interesting things with enemies. And what he's doing with those, if you know, those rocks are not a new enemy. They're not new at all. They're in the original. And water layering. Very interesting. And yay, the door looks weird. But what he's done, and we'll see a bit more of this, is he's made enemies. That's a very interesting save room. But he's made enemies like that elevator, because the elevator is actually an enemy. Wait a second. Hold on a second. That door thing is backwards. This is backwards. No, that's wrong. Okay. But yeah, he's made enemies, like I guess the rocks follow the other enemies so that they come out. Oh, hi, jumping pumpkins. There's not much scarier than a jumping pumpkin that's jumping at you. Pumpkins that shoot spikes that are coming at you fast. That's... Oh, hi. I just found Phantom jumping at me. Are you? Good grief. Thank you. Oh, and leave me small energy, of course. So yes, here we see the tubes. And this is kind of how he planned to go behind other rooms. Just go through tubes to traverse area. And this is more trash. Oh, here we go. So yes, he made these atomics. I keep wanting to call them atoms or atomics. And the series doors, why are those there? But he made these things a lot more like the bomb chews from Metroid Prime, since that's really what they made the atomics in that game, by having the little electric droppy enemy from the wrecked ship follow their movement. So that's how that's happened. And so just by combining two of the... Sort of combining, it's not actually combining. But by doing this, he made it so that it almost feels like a new enemy. That's really cool. I mean, this is the kind of stuff you can come up with. Ouch. I think I'm good. But that's the kind of stuff you can come up with. And that's... It doesn't really require anything new. You just have to think, well, what could go with this? And that's... Oh, yes. So this room is not complete, as you can tell. But we're okay here because there's not going to be anything that it's going to get us stuck. So yeah, plasma pirates, we obviously aren't doing anything with these. Excuse me. So yeah, it's the incomplete areas of the hack. Yes, the fish stuck here. Why is it? I don't know. Oh yes, and that's a plasma pirate right there. Its head's just sticking up above the block. We can't do squat about it, but it's there because this room is not complete. But you can kind of see how he builds his things. What is this room? Oh, it's just item room. And a missile with scrolling sky. That's another thing people don't use very much. I believe Demantra is the only one who's really used this with other backgrounds. I know a lot of people don't like using it with other backgrounds besides the one it's intended for because they think it's ugly or something, but I think it's pretty neat. Oh, and here's Spore Spawn, which thankfully is nothing like the Pandora Spore Spawn, because that thing is evil. And this one is not so much. I think this is even just a plain regular Spore Spawn. I don't think he's actually done anything with this. He just placed them. Yep, it's just a regular old Spore Spawn. Makes different noise because of music, but otherwise everything's the same. Or whatever it is. If that's the roar Spore Spawn makes, I wonder what Kraid would make with this music. And that is something that is fun to find out, is how will bosses sound with these different musics, which is actually something that'll be interesting to see if people make custom music for bosses. And they go through, they make custom music for a boss or something, like they use, I don't know, they import different instruments or whatever to make their own, or however they do it. They make the song, thinking the bosses may be using part of that may not come across your mind at first. And so after making the song and then implementing it and then playing through, I wonder how many people are going to be shocked at the weird noises the bosses are going to make. That'll be really interesting to see. I really do hope custom music starts happening, which it seems to be not nearly as hard as some people think it is. It's just tedious and time consuming, which is like making a hack in the first place. So, oh, this room, some interesting stuff. And you hear the Metroid thing, because there is more Metroid. But again, the Metroid is here to help. You can kind of see the walls. Oh, come on. You can do it. Alright, come on. My little Metroid. Okay, so over here in this dead-end-like place. Oh, hey, it breaks stuff. Go figure. Come on, Metroid. Down here. So yeah, because they're loose tracking AI system, they just swing around all over the place. And so yes, more friendly Metroids. It's always fun. And there's something right in there. I want that. Yeah, there's something here, obviously. Oh, where am I? That's the wrong way, apparently. No, I did not want to fall. Here we go. Oh, jeez, thanks. You can't get this yet. You don't have power bombs. And another tube. So you just see these tubes randomly show up in the places, and it's... You know there's going to be something back there, you just don't know what. So yes, like these little custom chain things, I had a little bit of help making them. Those tiles are actually really old. They are older than Fear, because we were using them in Again, which was our first attempt at hacking. So this back here's a wonderful little secret. And I like secrets hidden like that. Well, I like secrets in general, especially when they lead to nice items, or items in general. Hey, grapple block. We can ignore that, actually. Because, unfortunately, you don't need grapple ever with an infinite floaty jump. So, I don't know why those are up there. Because grapple's an amazing item. Okay, the tricky part to this is actually just getting out. Which that was easier than I've ever done that. Oh, more tubes. And transparencies. And that... Oh, hi. I'm being sucked into the floor. Which eventually... There we go. And... There we go. So you can when playing hacks, you can kind of see... People develop their own style. It's like... I mean, especially with Demanter, you can easily tell his style. I mean, mine, I guess, is more minimalist. DSO's here is very weird and has transparencies and worms. Is there any more of you guys? No, just the one. Yeah, why there's rocks on this elevator, I don't know. You would actually have to farm enough energy to make sure you can survive that trip. Otherwise, you will die. That is not exactly a good thing. But this is a very early stage. Very early stage of the hack, so there's plenty of time to fix stuff. Back through more angry red pellets, because everything in this hack is angry, apparently. And we're actually going to go through the other door or continue on the other way. That I did not go the other time. If I can remember where it is here. So yeah, I mean, this is a whole lot of clues and stuff. If you went in, someone gave you a hack, you had no idea who made it or whatever, but you're very familiar with a lot of hacks and who made those. It's just this one hack out of nowhere. You could tell who made it just based on the style. And not even just the artistic style or the design of it. There's other ways you can do it, because some people like doing some things in certain ways. It's very interesting to see how... Oh, there we go. I was getting worried there. I didn't want to have to grab the Metroid. Okay, so this door. This leads to yet another very, very interesting concept of this hack. Actually, a couple of them. I mean, one's just... it's interesting, but the other one is... oh, and this is a little puzzle thing, actually, technically. Because if you just jump, you won't make it over that spike pit. But if you jump and morph, you will, because the morph physics in the air are actually faster. So it's kind of like you speed up when you morph. It's pretty cool. Oh, okay. Okay, so here's one of his interesting ideas. Now this is very astute, just like an AngryFireChozo. Now he was planning to add a story in after some things like this. So you collect your item, you go back out, and then this. This is supposed to be some text for you to read that was triggered between the room transition. And then that's supposed to be locked so you can't go back and go through it again. It just happens to be a missile door cap right now. So that was his plan with that. It's going to have like a tile set that's just letters. That way he can build his story that way. Which is a really interesting concept. Although I'm not sure if he's going to keep that or not, because he might have figured out something better or something. I don't know. Oh, come on. There we go. So yeah, but that's an interesting way of going about doing that, and it's... would be neat to see. Although, honestly, story is not too important to me, but... oh, hey. I mean, especially in a Metroid game, basically, it should be Samus goes to a place by herself and fixes everything and saves the universe. That's pretty much it. So yes, that was a very interesting Meridian Tube room. And this is where the other concept comes in. And this was actually inspired by Super Mario 3. Notice you can't fit up there. And then you have just the one little flybug and a small side hopper, and you can't fit down there either. What Mario 3 concept could make that work? Because there's really nothing else you can do here. So it's like, what's going on? What can I do? And so if you remember World 4, I believe it is, in Mario 3. The little big world. You go through this door. Everything is huge. Because now you are supposed to be small. And his map isn't quite right for this, because he needed something completely different for the map. So yes, you are now supposed to be small. And remember that little fly and the little side hopper? Yeah, they're bigger. There's a giant side hopper. So yes, what was a little side hopper is now supposed to be this giant side hopper, and the little fly is now a lettuce leaf. So yes, it's supposed to give you like the visualization. You know, you shrunk. You can now fit through these cracks you couldn't before, wherever it is. And the enemies are now bigger, the rocks are bigger. You are just smaller. Where is this thing? I know it's up here. So yes, but I really do like this concept. And Metroid, it's... oh yes, and this is now too big for us to break with our little bombs. So yes, this is a really, really nice idea. And we can just fit up the little crack there. And up here's an energy tank. A nice little energy tank hiding in the middle of nowhere. It's a small energy tank. Because Samus is small. So apparently the Chozo makes small items as well. And who knows how many of those have been hidden around. What is... Oh, this is the door. So yeah, you're supposed to just come across these doors somewhere that will shrink you. And it's, I guess, kind of maybe a little bit like Metroid Prime 2. Oh, there's nothing back here. Like the echoes there where you needed to switch between the light and dark aether to advance, figure out some puzzles. I believe he was going to use that concept, except with the little big concept here. So you have to figure out, well, I have to be big to pass by these enemies, because, you know, they're too powerful for me, or I can't even hurt them when I'm small. I have to be little to go through these tunnels here, and you just have to find where the shrink ray door is, or whatever. I think he was going to make them a bit more obvious, but I'm not sure. And I don't recall if there's anything up here. Because, and again, this is actually also very, very early in the stages of completion here. I think this is just about the latest thing he's added in to AngryFireChozo2 here. And so there really has not been much done with it. I think it would be neat if you used the same music but kind of made it seem smaller in a way, I guess. Oh, and here's another little puzzle thing. These stupid pumpkins. Oh, yes, spikes. And spikes. You have to just find out which one doesn't have spikes. And that's not it. And... okay. What am I doing? I have spin jump restart. I don't need to be taking damage. Oh, great. Thanks. Nice spike placement there. And this is actually... funky little scroll room. This is actually the end where we'll stop it off, so... thanks for watching. Maybe this will get you a little bit excited about this being finished someday. And we will see you for the next video stuff, whatever that may be.